welcome to the shop. And by shop, I mean the cabin of the Lexus ISF. Kind of one of the surprise project cars from 2020. You guys really enjoyed it, and it generated some of our highest view counts and was featured on several different blogs when we tore into the engine and showed just how perfect a 220,000 mile high performance Toyota sedan is. So before we get to wrenching today, we wanted to go through and do a small project recap, and then we're going to throw down to Tavarish in Florida, and he's going to do some wrenching. Now, obviously, when we are doing these talking videos, you get a little bit bored at times, so that gives you the perfect opportunity to download and enjoy today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Immersive champions, tough dungeon bosses, millions of players and PvP content, Raid Shadow Legends has it all. If you haven't jumped on board yet, check it out in the link in the description below, get it on your mobile phone and now PC, and join us in game. One of the big features of Raid Shadow Legends is the hundreds of champions you can collect. Those champions belong to different factions. You have orcs, dwarves, undead, and my favorite, the Sacred Order. They are a group of Knights Templars that kind of use holy magic that work to buff each other while defeating the champions. I'm working through replaying the campaign mode with just a Sacred Order team and having a great time doing it. One of my favorite Sacred Order champions is Aethel. He's an option when you first join the game, and he has a fantastic ability just giving other players more health because he's in the group. And now in Raid Shadow Legends, they've had their biggest update ever. The main new event here is the Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, secret challenge rooms, and 12 majorly difficult badass bosses to take on. With all this content waiting for you, there's never been a better time to start playing. If you jump on right now using the link in the description below, Raid is going to give you a huge head start. You get your free Void Champion Bulwark, 50 gems, an XP booster, energy refills, and an ancient shard as soon as you get in game. You get all those rewards right here. Make sure you act fast, those rewards are only available for the next 30 days. You can find me in game under WED Jared, and if you're quick enough, you might even be able to face off 1 or 2 times against me. That's it, that easy. Click in the link in the description below, get all those rewards, and I'll see you in game. Back to the video.
So while we're on a drive heading out towards Site B, where we can go over and talk about Earl, Honda, Rousey, and some of the other cars there, and kind of give the update on the Georgia side of Wrench Everyday Fleet Cars, wanted to talk a bit about the ISF and maybe some plans depending on what you guys would like to see out of it. This is a car that I purchased several years ago, and it was right before I met Tavarish the first time, where he bought a cylinder head from me for the Super build that we did on the Tavarish channel. We took this car on a Dust Ball rally where we won the Gimmick Championship, and it's just been a fantastic car. My wife, before getting the gift from Tavarish, used it as her daily driver. It just was a little bit too loud and screamy for her to really enjoy it. And aside from the oil changes and the upgrades that we've wanted to do to the car, it's been perfect. Again, the major repairs required, the wheel bearings can be expected for a car that is used on a racetrack. I've had this on racetracks. Those are things that are going to wear out under that accelerated use. Brakes, I've actually not worn out a set of brakes. I have 2 different sets, my street kind of calm and quiet set, and then the track use with a very aggressive pad that just squeals and sounds terrible. I've gone through a set of tires. We've recently upgraded to the Koenig wheels, where we've got the Michelins all the way around, which lets me rotate tires. But other than that, it's a Toyota product. You know, when you're really driving it, you can't feel that it's this high-strung, super capable sports sedan, and that's one of my favorite things about it. Normally at 220,000 miles, you'd maybe not want to start modifying things, but you know, it's finally broken in, and I think it's ready to go ahead and throw some power down. So let us know in the comments, what do you think is the next best step for the ISF? You know, do we do something really dumb and build turbos, which I'm not 100% on board with? Do we just leave it and enjoy it, throw it around corners as a really good, screamy, all motor car that has, again, a great sound? Or do we maybe work a little bit with OR Racing and run a supercharger kit with my own special intercooler idea? So that really covers everything on our ISF. Again, it's a fantastic driver. Jump in it and go. Johnny was another hit. A lot of you guys enjoyed the build project with Randy, the guys at J&J, supporting us a whole lot through that whole project, where we put the Corvette suspension and drivetrain into a 1971 International Harvester pickup truck. He's fantastic, and he's a done working truck. There's small little cosmetic things and just button-up work that it needs to be perfect, but we run it to the grocery store, we run it to the dump, throw our garbage away. It's go and pick up sheetrock for some repairs around the house. It is a good working truck. It's a lot of fun to drive and throw around. Next time you see an update on Johnny, it's going to be with a limited slip rear end, interior together, all the gauges, lights working, and hopefully, possibly, getting some forced induction of some type. Big power increase, because when you take it to the drag strip, have no traction, and run really bad times, the next best step is big, huge power. That's the right thing to do. We have Honda Rousey. With the state of the world and a pandemic going on, that has been delayed and shifted and moved around a bit. We started working on the diesel engine, needed some more parts. We have those coming. And Honda Rousey is going to shift to a little bit like the Johnny style, where you're going to have just big chunks of updates. Rousey's a project we can eat up a lot of small videos with, but it's hard to reach milestones. And it's always nice to end a video with you guys when we've had a big update. Something exciting has happened, and unfortunately, the level of customization and craziness going into Honda Rousey, there's not milestones every video, and it can be, it's rough to watch sometimes, and I want to make sure we give you the best videos we can that we're excited about to share with you. We also have another new project car coming up, something that is incredibly super, we are so excited about, and in the editing room, Dwayne had a hard time shortening that video down because both Tavarish and I are so incredibly excited about this project that there's just enthusiasm through the entire everything. It is an incredibly cool car. You're going to get to see that coming up soon, and if you follow us on social media, our Instagram handles, always in the link below, we drop little sneak peeks so you can see what's going on, and you may be able to figure out what that really cool, really exciting car is. Another one of the vehicles you've seen kind of pop up, mostly me being dumb and getting it stuck in the creek, is the 71 Scout. It's not officially slated for anything to happen on the channel. If we get an insane outcry of everyone absolutely dying to see some type of build on it, we can look at doing something. Speaking of interaction, I want to let you guys know that you guys are awesome and you reach out a lot, but I do want to try to make 2021 a year that I try to spend a little bit more time with you guys. You are awesome. You make this whole thing possible. So I want to make sure to spend a little bit more time trying to respond with you. And that's going to kind of wrap up the talking with just staring at my face while we're driving in the Lexus part of our video. We are now going to be at Site B, where we're going to talk about Earl and the Supras. Again, Supras, remember, there's two of them. So I think I'm supposed to snap a finger and we show up, but we've kind of worn that comedy out of snapping and it working and snapping and nothing happening. So Dwayne will come up with some kind of transition, and I'm going to be standing at Site B. And we are at the nice dark shop that is Site B. Here is Earl, fresh from Florida. We have all of the body work, so next time we are working on Earl, we are going to get the body remounted, which is going to let us build the intercooler and radiator mounting and get all the cooling systems set up. And then it's wiring fun, where we are going to set the car up on just a basic racing harness so we can have lights and normal function for a race car. We aren't going to fight with all the street integration where we're going to have all the fancy pretty stuff. It is going to be a rowdy race car. So we're going to get that going. We're going to get tires for our wheels and get Earl driving because he needs it, and it's well deserved. So that'll be coming soon. We mentioned Supras. That's the crazy silver drag racing Supra. We're going to have an episode coming up where we are going to build its insane cylinder head so we can mount it to that engine block and get that poor thing together. The last Supra is the Twin Turbo R, the right-hand drive of the green one, my favorite beautiful car that we are doing the 1JZ showdown with. I was going to do a bunch of power upgrades, but I really don't need it. We are going to mop the floor with the SC300 when Tavarish finally gets that 1J in it. We've got the PGS Dog Box Racing R154 before to go into it, which I'm excited to do an episode on, where we're going to do an upgraded clutch and change the rear end and just some minor maintenance stuff, and that is going to be plenty to kick that SC300's butt. Now, speaking of the SC300, I have heard, I don't know exactly what he's doing, but I've heard from Tavarish there are some really exciting things coming up for that car and the 1JZ. So, I promised you some wrenching. We are going to throw it to Tavarish and Freddie down in Florida, where he is going to, I guess, wrench a little bit on the SC300 or give you an update down there on the Florida side of wrench stuff. So, down to Florida we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wrench Everyday HQ Site A. Now, I'm going to do something that Jared did in our last video, and that is cheat, because Jared told you that I'm going to be wrenching, and I'm going to be wrenching on this car, and I'm going to be turning it into something big and beautiful and fast. And while that is still the case, I'm not going to be doing that today because I have a change of plans, and that's because I had a change of heart about this entire build. Now, if you guys don't know what this is, it's a 1997 Lexus SC300. This has a 3-liter inline 6, and yes, this is a 2JZ. Now, this should make a lot of power, especially if we put a turbo on it, especially if we put a 5 or 6-speed transmission behind it, and also if we change out the engine altogether, because I took out the 1JZ, the 2.5-liter 6-cylinder from my other SC300 that got junked, and the idea was that we were going to have a 1JZ shootout between Jared and his Mark III Supra, which is really a Ford Probe, and this car. But then I thought that is not going to be good because this car is very, very heavy, and Jared's car is not, and Jared probably has some cheating in his engine anyway. So I think for this thing, it's going to be a little bit of a different build. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and to do that, I'm going to show you the 1JZ engine. Now, this thing, with all of its wiring and starters and solenoids and all of that, is a 1JZ engine, 2.5 liter with some sort of blue clutch that has all its paint kind of come off. So this is actually a very desirable engine. It made around 330 wheel horsepower in my Lexus, and it sounds great and performs very, very well. The reason why I'm not using this is because now, in the market, this is worth a lot of money, upwards of $3,000 or $4,000, when I definitely didn't pay that many, many years ago when I first got it. So, in the next coming episodes on this car, I'm going to be taking this not completely apart, but just sort of refreshing it and making it ready for sale, because honestly, if I had an extra $3,000 or $4,000 into this project, that would really transform it. And what I'm thinking is that we do a Lexus SCF. So obviously Lexus never made an SCF. What that means is that I would take an ISF, the same as Jared's car, the car you just saw in the beginning of this episode, and I would take the drivetrain and I would take the brakes and suspension and put them into this car. Now, none of that is bolt-on. Everything has to be custom, but I think that this car would make an awesome platform for an ISF conversion. Just think about it. It would have a 5-liter V8 making 400 to 500 horsepower. We would have an 8-speed automatic transmission with torque converter lockup, meaning that the shifts are super quick. And we can retain the fact that it's still an automatic. Now, automatics have come a long way since this thing was in style. So we would have modern electronics, we would have modern brakes, we would have a modern traction control and stability control system, and this, I think, would be the sports coupe that I've always wanted. And then, and only then, would I race Jared, but not in his Supra or Ford Probe. I would race him in his ISF, his daily driver, his one pride and joy. I don't know if it's one pride and joy, he has a lot of cars. But this would be an awesome matchup between Jared and I can't wait to do that. So I'm going to be selling that engine, and then with that money, I'm going to buy a crashed ISF. I'm going to try to buy the entire car for that amount of money. Then I'm going to take everything from that car and put it in here, and then we're going to have a running and driving car. I'm sure that's how it works, and there's going to be no issues with any of those plans. But one thing that you guys have been asking me a lot is that you guys want some more builds, and you guys want us to finish builds faster. And yes, that is a concern of mine. Yes, I'd like to finish builds faster, but we like to build it better. We like to make sure that everything we do is 100%. Whether it's making a diesel Honda limo or it's making a 300ZX with a 2JZ that's built to do burnouts and donuts and all that other rowdy stuff, it has to be right. But I think that we could do something that a lot of channels have tried to do, but they haven't really done all that well, and that is buying and restoring a cheap supercar. So I wonder where we can get one of those. Okay, I apologize for that corny transition, but that's going to be coming up on this channel, and I am so excited for you guys to see it, and all the other cars that we have on this channel, and should be finishing up very, very soon. So until next time, this is me reminding you guys that you always need to make questionable choices, and don't tell your friends about secret builds that you have because you want to beat them at a race, because I really, really want to beat Jared.